Welcome to Cloudy with a Chance of Meeples, a channel of conversation and board games.
Hey, my name is Brent here on Cloudy with a Chance of Meeples. Today we are looking at a roll and write game. Today we are looking at My City Roll and Build. Of course, My City, if you follow the channel, you'll know that Nicole and myself absolutely loved that game. My City tile laying legacy game from Reiner Knizia. It's, a spatial puzzle that progresses over 24 different episodes. This is the roll and write version of that. It only plays in 12 episodes. Does it give me the same feeling as the big box? Let's find out. Cue the thunder. So the radar overview for My City Roll and Build looks like this. This is going to be, I guess, kind of a mini spoiler to the first episode. But to be honest, if you're reading in the rules, you're going to be figuring things out rather quickly because nothing's really a secret because it shows you how to teach the game. It teaches you how to learn the game. And then episode 1, the new land, episode 2, episode 3, and it shows you everything right there. So there's no envelopes to be opening, much like in the big box tiling version of My City. But I want to show you how to play this, kind of just a rough overview. So you get this pad of paper, which has all the episodes and all the chapters and whatnot. Each player would get a paper. Of course, you're playing a legacy game. You're probably playing with the same people and doing this whole thing with the same group. But starting with chapter 1, the new land, episode 1, everybody would get one of these papers. I will say they're all double-sided as well, so you can, play this campaign multiple times. There's also rules for solo, but how to play this. Everybody get a pencil, you take these 3 dice, and then it tells you on every one of these pages, it says in the rules as well, on every one of the episodes, it tells you kind of the restrictions. So in this case, you start at the river. If you don't build a construction or you don't draw a construction, you fill in one of the dots, and depending on how many are filled in at the end of the game, end of the round, that's how many minus points you have. You get 1 point for every tree that you don't cover up, minus 1 point for every rock, and every empty space that you do not draw upon is also minus 1. And then you add your score up and put it in the bottom of episode 1 and your name. So how exactly do you do this? You roll these. And this says that you put these 2 little gray dots together. You need to draw a building that is 2 spaces, and then it's got to be drawn with these stripes. So at that point, let's just say I would draw the square like this, and that will be it. Everybody would do that, and then you roll again. And let's just do a couple of these. This would be the same shape, but it has to be shaded in. Anytime you start drawing anywhere, at least in the first chapter or the first episode, I have to continue drawing from this point. So I can't, I would have to be touching. I can touch through the river like that, but I can never draw something over the river. I can't draw on these trees or these rocks, unless, of course, the rules allow me to. So keep going. Sometimes you'll roll this, depending on if you need it in an episode, you'll use it, otherwise you will not. And again, so this is another 2-piece. Let's just keep going. Let's draw something else. Now, there we go. So this is a tiny L, and it has to be the striped one. So I can rotate it. I can draw it like this, or like this, or like this, however I want. And I will just keep going like this. So that's really how you're going to play the game. You're going to be rolling these, drawing on there, and that's it. Again, so I'm not going to spoil too much, but at the end, this is what my page looked like at the end of the first episode. I got 6 points. I didn't construct a building twice, so then I circled that in. I got minus 2. And you can also just stop at any point. If all of a sudden you're stuck, you're like, I'm stopping, you're out of that round, and then the players would just finish out that round, and you could start adding your score up, whatever. Sorry, this is my wife's. This is Nicole's. But it doesn't really matter. This is what it might look like at the end of an episode. So that in a nutshell is how you play My City Roll and Build. Let's move on over now and check out the final forecast. So the final forecast for My City Roll and Build. As mentioned at the top of the video, Nicole and I absolutely loved My City. It was a spatial puzzle that progressed over 24 different episodes. And by the end, you could just sit back and you could be like, man, that was quite the journey that we were just on. So, My City Roll and Build. Half as many episodes, and definitely did not give the same feeling at all. I will say that. There's not much in this game. You're getting 3 little dice, which I will say, I liked how these worked. I liked how you roll the 2 dice, and then you put the 2 sides together, and then it shows that's the shape you write, or build, or whatever. Well, you do it again, that's the shape. So I liked how this works, and then this die shows you which color, whether you're supposed to, shade it in, or put X's, or stripes, or whatever. I liked how that worked. Give you a big pad of paper, no pencils, I will say that. There's no pencils in this box, so take that for what it is. But a lot of, a huge pad of paper, which you can do this 1 to 6 players, and you can do, there's enough here that you can do it multiple times. Which I will say, I have no desire doing this multiple times. It's the eternal way to play it. You just pick an episode that you really liked, but none of them stood out to the point of like, man, I love the puzzle in number 4. Let's do it again and again. I didn't have that. I didn't have it in the big box game. I have it even less in this one. But overall, it's all right. It's a challenge for people who struggle with spatial aspects or spatial puzzles. I know the big box has a spatial puzzle, but it has, 8 different buildings, 3 different colors, and you kind of know and can kind of plan, oh, I'm going to wait for the blue of this shape to put it there. And you can kind of strategically plan ahead a little bit. In this one, throw that out the window completely. It is so random when you're rolling these dice. I and Nicole and myself had games where we didn't even roll specific shapes. And then the next one, we rolled the same shape like 6 out of 9 times. And so you can't plan further ahead in this one at all. The dice are really random. I will say, looking back at all the different ones, it kind of starts in the same journey as the big box version, but then kind of by episode maybe 6 or 7, they're kind of just like mini games. It just adds like, okay, score it this way now, and then the next one score this one, and you're not even dealing with the one you were dealing with in the previous. So what I loved about the original one, it just continues to build upon the same story, and it progresses that way. I felt it didn't do that as much in this one. Another thing that I thought was really challenging is there's no catch-up mechanism. And you may say, well, a good game shouldn't have a catch-up mechanism. I understand that. But in the big box version, there's a way, if you're losing, that you get to add something to your board to make your next game a little bit easier, and the person who's winning, they have something on their board that makes it a little bit more challenging. So it kind of balances things out. There's nothing in this one. So if you fall behind in this, good luck catching up if your other opponents are having that much easier of a time than you are. So I felt that was a pretty big thing. But overall, I just didn't think that this was all that good. I'm going to give it a 60% chance of meeples. Like I said, I have no desire to do the whole thing again. I have no desire to play specific episodes again. And it's an okay version of My City. If I had to choose, it's a no-brainer. Get the big box. Even for the price point. The price point of this compared to the big box. Well, this is My Island, but big box version of My City, for maybe twice the price, you get that much more of a game. And that much better of a game. So I can't say that this is all that good. 60% chance of meeples for My City Roll and Build. And I had high hopes for it, but it just fell flat for myself. Let me know. Did you like it? Maybe I'm wrong. But it is what it is. 60% chance of meeples for My City Roll and Build. My name is Brent. Check us out on Facebook, Cloudy with a Chance of Meeples. Until next time, grab your umbrella. The forecast is cloudy with a chance of meeples.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember to grab your umbrella because the forecast is cloudy with a chance of meeples.